and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lizzie. I hope you're feeling well, doing well out there. Are you ready for episode 2 of Guide Code? I'm super excited. Alright, so the normal standard to this episode is I ask 10 questions, and at the end I do 2 holistic healing advice. And today we're talking about 1 holistic remedies for your back or muscle pain, and holistic remedies to cure your gas. So let's start with the questions. I have 10 questions. I created a new deck since last week, so let's get right to it. Question number 1: do men feel admitting they are struggling with PTSD in the military? Do they feel it will affect their career negatively, or that they will be viewed as weak to their peers? Okay, so basically, do military men fear admitting they have issues with PTSD because it will hurt their career or they will seem weak? Yes and no, and yes and maybe. Overall, I think yes, but it really depends on the kind of support that soldier has, who's around them that is supportive, if other people in their unit have come forward with it. But overall, for the most part, men do feel like it's going to affect their career. They could be afraid that they are going to lose their career because they're having mental issues, or they're going to be held back, or their peers are going to view them as weak or disturbed in some way, which is sad. We need to work on this, military. Alright, number 2. Do men spend more time on their image and appearance than women do? This was one of the commonly asked questions about men. I was doing research on what questions to ask. It's likely, not likely, doubtful, nope. I feel like it's likely came out because some men do. They do spend time doing their hair and making themselves look better or to their own standards, but for the most part, I do feel women take longer to get ready than men. So I'm going to write yes and no. It depends on the man and how much hair they have, because long hair is in right now. Well, I feel like there's always like beards too. You gotta brush your beards, right? Do all that stuff. Alright, number 3. Do men feel that they need to look a certain way to be attractive to women due to social media or Hollywood, TV, etc.? Do men have body issues or body image issues? No. Yes. Maybe. I do feel like some men are like, whatever, and this is me, this is what I look like, but I do feel like some men feel women want muscular bodies, or men who are in shape. I feel like they do have weight issues, men do. I know balding men struggle, and I think nobody's going to want a balding man, but that's not true. You know, women like bald guys. There's certain areas where men do feel like, they want a certain type and I'm just not it. I think they can struggle just as much as women when it comes to body image. So I'm going to write yes and no, because some men are good with it and some men, they have issues with their body, and that's true for women as well. Some women are fine in their own skin, and some, I don't feel like that's gender based. I feel like that's just people in general. Alright, number 4. Are men closer to their mothers than daughters are? Are men closer to their mothers than daughters are? Overall. Doesn't came flying out. Yes. I feel that. Like, my dad and my uncles visit my grandma, but my aunt lived with them. All my aunts are deceased on one side, but yeah, I see that connection between mother and son. It was a hard yes. So number 5. Do men really expect women to manage and care for their home and children? Let's stud this once and for all. Do men expect women to be at home taking care of the children and doing all the housework? Yeah, men still expect, like, when they wife up somebody and they have kids, they're going to expect the woman to hold it down. I feel like sexism still exists, but it's getting better. Number 6, do men still ask permission from a woman's father before proposing in this generation? Does this new young generation, do they ask the father's permission for a hand in marriage? Is that still a thing? Do men still ask the father's permission before proposing? Nah. Oh no. I feel like that's a dying tradition with these young ones. I'm going to say no. Wow, that's surprising. My dad would have a fucking issue about that. First of all, I'm his last girl, so good luck. Anyway, number 7. Do men feel pressured to be athletic in high school? Do men feel pressured to play sports in high school or be an athlete or a jock? Do men feel pressured in high school to be a jock and play sports? Do men feel pressured in high school to... That's like half the deck. Do men feel pressured to be athletic or a jock in high school? Just flipped. Yep. Yeah. Wow, that's sad. Why? You know what? Chess club is just as good. They're smart. Debate team. Like, why do you feel like you need to be an athlete? Maybe it's a parent thing. Maybe parents are... Because, you know what? Being in sports does keep you out of trouble. My mom, doesn't matter. She has 5 kids. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl. She stuck you in a sport to stay out of trouble. Number 8. Do men buy firearms and guns more than women do? Do men buy more guns and own more guns than women do? At all the gun shows, there's always men all over the place, so I figured I'd ask. Do men buy more firearms and guns than women? Not possible. Maybe. Absolutely not. Oh my God, no. Heck yes. Hell yes. Split down the middle. I'm going to ask again. There's too many variables in there. Do men buy more guns than women? Do men buy more guns than women? Do men buy more guns? Hell yes. Or heck yes. I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, there's always more men at the gun shows than women. I'm not saying anything bad. I was just curious. So yeah, men do buy and own more firearms. They do feel like they need to protect the family, right? There's also more male soldiers and military people and police officers than there are females. Not that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying. Number 9, do men cook more in this generation than past generations? Do men get in the kitchen more than other past generations? Mixed answered. We got not true, no, oh yes, and heck yes. Yeah, exactly. Split down the middle. I think it depends on the man. If they know how to cook, I feel like they will. Let's ask again, though. It's 2 split. Do men cook more in this generation than past generations? Are men getting in the kitchen? It's helpful. I'll ask again. Come on, Spirit. Do men cook more? My brother's a chef, so yes and no. Maybe. It's likely. Yes. Another yes. Absolutely. Yeah, I think men are stepping up more in the kitchen, even if they know how to just cook breakfast. I feel like they'll step up and be like, yeah, I'll make breakfast. More than past generations where women had to cook everything. Yeah, you're definitely stepping up. There's a lot of male chefs. Men like to cook. Number 10, are men more helpful in housework and child rearing than previous generations? Are men more helpful in housework and child rearing than previous generations? Are you stepping up more, men out there? Are men stepping up more in the home? Woo! Look at that. Yes, absolutely. Good job. Good job, men. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. You're contributing, and that's a long way from when our grandparents got married. Look at you. Glowing up, man. I'm proud of you. Super proud. Let's go on to the holistic remedies for back and muscle pain. These are things that you can try at home, but I would recommend going to the doctors and getting an x-ray or some kind of scan, because you never know what's going on. But if you just have an ache here and there and it's something that only lasts a few days, you can definitely try these. I would start with some light stretching or yoga. Maybe you have a kink, or you sat in a different position too long, or you slept funny. So try some basic yoga, just walking around, stretching out your limbs can get rid of aches. Don't do it if it's too painful. If it's making it worse, I definitely would skip that one. But, sometimes you get a crank from, like, being at the computer all day or sitting too long or sleeping funny. You can do heat and cold therapy, like something like icy hot, or you can actually physically use a heating pad and an ice pack on. Treating it with both ice and heat will be helpful. Preferably not one right after the other. I like to do ice in the morning and heat at night, but that's just my preference. You can try pain relief cream. Salonpas works really good. Try better shoes. We don't realize that when our soles wear out of our shoes, or if our shoes are old, that can mess with our back and how we walk. So if you can't afford better shoes, try getting different shoe and soles and see if your back pain is getting better, because you need that support under your feet. You need to be walking appropriately. Just one less of a shoe on one side is making your hips off kilter all day, and that can cause back and muscle pain. So check your shoes and your insoles. Reduce stress. Stress can cause body aches, ache in the arm, ache in the back, chest aches. Anxiety attacks can feel like heart attacks, pain in your hands, all associated with anxiety and stress. So get those levels down if you can. Go to a doctor and get some help with that. I don't know about you, but my state just passed medical and recreational marijuana, so maybe you want to try that. All right, so get enough sleep as well. If you're not getting enough sleep over a couple days, that can give you fatigue and body aches and back aches. So make sure you're not only reducing stress, but getting enough sleep. All right, it's Arnica. It's Arnica. It's a homeopathic remedy that people can apply directly to the skin to treat muscle pain, swelling, and bruising. Google it. Arnica. I've never tried it, but I found it in my research, so I figured I would tell you about it. Also, when you're sleeping, if you don't normally do this, I would put a pillow between your knees so that your hips line up better while you're sleeping. That can help with back pain. Or if you have like a sore leg, putting your pillow under your leg that's hurting so that it's raised up a little bit. If you have a lot of hip pain, I would even sleep with the pillow right under my lower back, but it has to be a really flat pillow because you don't want to be up too much, because that would make it worse. But I sleep with a pillow between my knees to help my hips. I was born with one hip slightly up above the other, so I have to literally do stretches and make sure that they're staying leveled out, and sleeping with a pillow helps my back as well. So I would try those tricks to see if that helps. Also, you can take a warm bubble bath. That always helps calm and relax you and makes me feel better. All right, let's talk about gas, guys. This is the number one question asked when I was doing research on what holistic things I should help you with. Gas was number one on the list. Men are embarrassed to talk about this, and embarrassed to, especially if they're on a date or something, you don't want to fart or burp. So let me help you out, guys. You can try probiotics, and you can get them at a health food store, or you can talk to your doctor on which ones to get. You can also just buy Beano at the store. That helps with gas as well. Eating better. Avoiding sugars, oils, and fats, and carbonated drinks will naturally cut down the gas in your body. Herbs and spices that provide gas relief. So if you don't want to take anything, you can try these herbs or drink in a tea like chamomile tea, peppermint, chewing peppermint candies, the old school red and white round candies that look like candy canes. Those are perfect. Or anything spearmint, you can get the green ones as well. Parsley and basil, cumin, fennel, caraway, and dill. All those natural herbs and spices, put them in your foods. It will help you. like I said, over-the-counter medicine like Gas-X or Pepto-Bismol. You can try ginger tea or eating ginger foods. Lime juice and baking powder mix. If you Google lime juice and baking powder, they tell you the specific measurements. There's a couple different recipes that you can look into. I've heard doing like sit-ups or stretching, doing yoga helps the air get out of your body at night or in the morning. A lot of times gas builds up in men because you're sitting too much during your day. You're not getting those fluids moving. So walking on your lunch break, doing some sit-ups, squat thrusts, anything like that will help it naturally come out. When you're alone, let it rip. There's more room out than in. Don't be embarrassed if you genuinely have a gas problem and someone makes you feel like shit about that. That person is not a person you need in your life. They're a shitty person. Nobody should make you feel bad about things you can't control. Just accept yourself and accept your situation and talk to your doctor about it. They always have better advice than I do. I hope you liked this episode. I will see you next time. If you liked it and you want more of these, because I'm going to try it out for a few weeks. If my numbers stay low, I'll stop doing it after a while. So I'm looking for your feedback on views and the thumbs up below. Please hit the subscribe button if you're inclined to. No pressure. Thank you so much for your time. Bye, guys. Be healthy out there. Stay safe and have a wonderful week. Bye. Deuces!